Wando fan, like just in the last year of, seeing that work rate and, just seeing the interviews and like hearing people talk about his work rate and the kind of guy he is off the field. And, I've become a bigger fan. Um, but what else should we talk about, Ian? We only have a few things. It's just the two of us. You
Well,
want to talk?
we
Huh?
sort of got into story mode. I liked story mode. Story mode
Story
is
mode is good. Story mode's always fun. I don't have a ton more to say. Mix is hot is a note here. I'm not sure if that's referring to his form or his looks. Probably both.
yeah, both.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is very self-serving is because uh, if I get my hair right, I have mixed hair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So you
I've
want to
been,
you want to push that as the hot thing right now. Like,
I mean,
ladies, this is what a good-looking man is.
it
This style.
I don't have to push hard. It's working. So the unfortunate thing though is I can't actually play with that hair when I play pickup soccer on Saturdays because it gets in my face and I can't see, so I have to put it in a ponytail, and so I don't have mixed hair on the field, but I can have it off the field. That's probably what's more important.
I
So,
agree. I agree. Let's see. What about goals of the week? I only have one statement here, so I'm going to let you start.
I'm just I want to make more cheesy points about how good MLS is getting. Um, how were we wrong? Like 8 weeks ago when we were talking about how there are like five guys in the league who can put in goals from long distance, it seems like we've gotten four a week since
Yeah.
we said that
Yeah.
from all by scored by different guys. I think like
And at
John
least
Baptiste
some of
Rossi
them.
scores from like 40 yards out
Yeah.
this last week, and I'm like, all right, whatever, MLS. I mean, it's great because I mean one of the things I hear from my uncle who's an MLS downer and is like European soccer, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. And one of the things he says is, there's just, you know, one of the things is the first touch isn't always there, which is going to be true for, at least another couple of years. But the other thing he says is there's not a ton of like really quality goals, like long distance goals, like strikes that really space the defense. And I'm like, yeah, that's also true, but maybe not anymore. So I'm
Yeah.
excited about
You're
that.
you're absolutely correct. I mean, just a few years back, like you said, we could name five guys, that
Just a few weeks back.
yeah. um, but yeah, this has been an incredible. I'm really looking forward to the end of the year to see what 64 goals competing for goals of the year are going to look like. That I think it's going to be just a ridiculous match of stuff.
Because
Um,
we've had like three consecutive weeks where it's like four could be in that final 64, right?
Yeah,
Like three.
and we've had a couple of weeks in the last, I'd say, what, 2 or 3 of the last 4 or 5 weeks, we felt like there were goals that were left out that were gonna get picked anyway.
Yeah.
I know that there were some great goals this week, and I know that this is gonna sound like a homer comment, but I
Papa.
seriously can't believe that Marco Papa didn't get nominated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not wind, it's not a cross that happened to go in. It is
Well,
just
to be fair, a
so.
Spindleless Cross that happened to go in wasn't nominated. Fairly so.
But
So
that's my point, is
yeah.
that it was 100% beautiful, pure skill. Over the wall, beautiful curler, just world class. There's no goalie in the league, not even Ramondo saves that shot.
Yep.
And for that to not get nominated, I do feel like it'll have to end up in the 64. We're only going to get so many of those a year.
I think it
But
was.
to be fair to the goals that were in, it was a good week.
I liked it better than the Rudy goal. I don't know
That's what
why
I
a
would.
Rudy goal was in there.
I didn't want to say that because that's even more Homer. Like, hey, let me kick
I'll
a
say it for
Timbers.
you then.
Let me let me kick a Timbers goal out to put a Sounders one in. But um,
I'll kick the Timbers goal out.
fair.
I'll do that for you, Pete.
You're a good man. I appreciate that.
Especially
But
since
no,
Josh isn't here to protest.
that's right. That's what happens. You don't show up, you don't get to protest. What do they say? You can't complain if you don't vote. um, yeah, man, you're absolutely right though. The quality that we've seen this year has been pretty impressive, and it's awesome. I love seeing that. not only are we bringing new guys into the league that are getting better with those first touches and those long balls, but I think that the quality of the league from homegrown players and academies and all that stuff that we talked about, like it's all coming together right now, which again just points to how badly we need to do well at the World Cup. Oh God, Ian.
Yeah, and you know this because you favored my tweet yesterday. I have a feeling we're gonna beat Portugal. We're gonna beat Portugal. We're gonna have beat Ghana. We're gonna beat both those guys, and we'll be 6 points going into Germany, and they'll also have 6 points. So we'll both have qualified for the next round for that third game, and it'll be great.
And then we're gonna get blown out by Germany because if
It
we
doesn't
both,
matter. It doesn't
but I
matter.
know, but if we both go in with 6, then they're gonna want to win the group, as
Yeah, because
opposed to
you'd
the
rather
idea.
because you'd rather play Algeria or South Korea than Belgium.
Exactly, exactly. But I there's a lot of scenarios that I've looked at, just like the way that it could play out, and I really do, like the idea of Germany coming into a game where a result doesn't matter against us, you know. But there's so many storylines. Like I first and foremost, I want to beat Ghana. Like I think not only is that
I think we're going to. I
I
have
think so too. I think I actually believe that that's going to happen. Yeah. I'm not as confident as you in the Portugal thing. I know you had your vision, and I'm really happy about that. I hope that you're right. I think we're going to beat Ghana, and I think that it's twofold. Not only do we need to do that, if we have any expectations of making it out of the group, we have to win that game. 1 point against Ghana is not going to get us to move on, barring shocking results against our other two opponents. But I think we're going to beat Ghana. I think that we could see very likely 5 points out of this group and move on it with Germany. I think that is not unreasonable. And I know there's a lot of I feel like there's just two extremes right now. Nobody's in the middle on our chances. It's either doom and gloom and we're gonna fail out with 1 or 0 points, or there's no way we don't get out of the round. We're better than Portugal. But I feel like it's not unreasonable to think that we could beat Ghana and pull off 2 draws. And in my mind that means that Germany probably takes Ghana and Portugal out pretty well. I think that Germany looks at finishing with 7 points, and
well,
um,
we're lucky because Germany plays Portugal in their first game, and Germany is really good at first games of World Cups.
right,
So
especially in the heat. As that heat continues to wear on teams, it's going to get worse for most of them.
but not us,
Exactly,
except for Timmy
exactly.
Chandler.
Ugh. Well, he might not be starting. We'll
Well, he
see.
better
We'll
not be
see.
starting.
We'll see how Nigeria goes, but yeah.
That's what bothered me about leaving off Parkhurst and Goodson and Donovan. Not the whole maybe they're better, maybe they're not, because they definitely are. But the whole these guys, because we heard Beckerman. I heard Beckerman yesterday on the Men in Blazers thing say this Brazil thing, traveling around Brazil, is going to be nothing for us who play in MLS, who do
Yeah.
this week in and week out. We go play in Dallas. We go
We
play
played 9 games in
in
eight,
the summer.
three games in 9 days, and
Yeah, like
yeah,
consistently. And they go play in Southern California when it's June and it's Sunday afternoon, and
yeah,
Robbie Keane complains about it, and it's it's old hat for these MLS guys.
yeah.
Not to mention, we have been playing with the official World Cup ball all year. I feel like that's an advantage that I'm probably overrated,
Until the
but I don't
friendlies,
care
until the friendlies where we're not using the official ball.
because we're Nike sponsored.
I know the reason. That doesn't make me happy about it.
Like, yeah, because Nike didn't do so great with their jerseys, but whatever.
Yeah, Nike's not having a great year for the World Cup for us. If you're listening, Nike, I want you to know how we feel.
Yeah, and in that World Cup ad they made, Tim Howard was scored on a Panenka, so they can go fuck themselves.
Hey, all right,
We
there's our
haven't,
explicit
yeah, I was
tag.
gonna say we haven't had the fuck yet this podcast. It's
Our
been like
fuck ratio is very low.
an hour and a half in, and
I feel like we're better. We're on better behavior when we have, media guests. Like I dropped the one F-bomb at the beginning of having Matt Doyle on, and then that was it. Like no one did it again. Like we have this thing where we're just, we're on a little bit better behavior, and then we bring on like, John, or we bring on some cruise dude, and it's fucking flying around. But
yeah.
Ian, let's go out on this last note here. Today saw the release of the potential matchups for the 5th round of the Open Cup to see who would play who after we have the 4th round go down, and there were some pretty cool matchups.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'm either going to be here in Minnesota, and if they beat Kansas City, they'll probably host Portland, and so I'll definitely go to that. Or I'm going to be in North Carolina, and we're definitely going to beat Chivas. I think we were favored against Chivas, which wouldn't be the first time we were favored against Chivas, by the way. And then if we win that, we'll play the Galaxy again, and everyone's going to get excited. And it'll be right during the World Cup. Hopefully we'll have just... Hold on, let me check my calendar. I don't know when in the group stages that is, but...
Well, so the fourth round happens on the 18th for most teams, which is just 4 days into the, or no, I guess 6 days into the Cup, between the U.S.'s first and second game.
Right. No games are happening when the U.S. plays.
Right. All the way through. I saw that as well.
Yeah, the 25th and the 24th is when it's going to happen, and all that's happening is just.
And that's, but you're saying the 24th and the 24th
don't care about like England and France and Honduras. So we don't.
The 24th and 25th would be the 5th round.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And the World Cup is still in the group stage, so we're still all fired up, and that's awesome. I'm actually really excited about the matchups on my side as well. For the first time in the era of not getting to outbid other teams for home rights, Seattle has actually won coin flips. Basically, since we stopped being the team that could just buy the rights to everything, it's felt like a little bit of a grudge, although it's coin flips that are behind closed doors. Because we have not won a coin flip. Our number one game last year was flying literally as far as you can from the northwest corner of the country to the southeast to fly out to Tampa, which I made that trip recently. It's long and it sucks. And we've lost coin flip after coin flip after coin flip, and no matter who wins the game between the Sac Republic and the Quakes, either team comes to Seattle if we move on against amateur PSA Elite. So that's really cool. And then for me, either of those teams is a great story. If it's the Sacramento Republic, it's my hometown, it's their inaugural season. They're really hot right now. Like, for a brand new USL Pro team, they are flying high. They've got record-breaking attendance. They're winning games. They're doing really, really well. So if they then go down to Kezar, pull an upset against the MLS Quakes, and then come up, that's a great storyline for me. And the other one would just be a rematch against the Quakes. We have a pretty infamous game from 2 years ago where there was an
the question mark game?
This is the question mark game that so it's famous for the question mark. For Sounders fans, it's famous because of that question mark, we had a guy who rose to prominence, Twitter name Sonar Riley, who basically set up a Ustream feed from his iPhone and from the stands at Kezar filmed the rest of the match. And so all of us on Twitter were able to find that Ustream feed and watch like a fan stand shot video. So that was nuts. And it also featured a alleged punch from Eddie Johnson to a San Jose player, not caught on film, but it was a big dust up and a big deal. And it featured Cordell Cato playing for the Sounders to score the only goal to win that game, who now plays for the Quakes and will
Right.
almost certainly get Open Cup time.
Right.
So it's great storylines all the way around as far as we're concerned. Also, I think Portland has to travel no matter what, so I find that hilarious. They have to travel to, what do we decide? Either Kansas City
Or Minnesota.
or
Or they're
Minnesota.
coming
Right.
here.
Right. They have to
Good job.
travel either way, so that's fantastic. And yeah, I'm excited. I've got my ticket for the Open Cup game because for us, man, with a 4,000 seat stadium and the Sounders having their best year ever, our Open Cup tickets sold out so fast. Oh my God, they were fast. I got in on a pre-sale, so I was okay, but like it was quick. So
Yeah,
I've
we're gonna
got
have to get together after our Open Cup experiences because I'm gonna head down to Kansas City. It's gonna be exciting.
yeah.
I think Minnesota United gets to play the first game on that new turf that everyone's talking about.
that sweet blue turf.
Is it actually blue?
No, it's
It's just Kentucky bluegrass, right?
right. Well, and
Okay.
the joke is that the uh, the Sporting Kansas City front office has been saying for like a solid year now, basically joking that they were going to get the same thing that Boise State has for their football field, that they were going to get a sporting blue turf. And it's just kind of one of those things where they're just trolling and having a good time with it. But no, it's Kentucky bluegrass grass. It's still real grass.
Yeah.
They use it at golf courses. It's known for being a really like thick, lush, robust grass. It's very popular in the U.S., so should work out well for them. I'm gonna call it, Ian. I feel like we've had a pretty good night.
Yeah, let's do it. It's gonna be this is gonna be a rough one to edit because it's in a solid hour and 45 minutes of pretty good content. So we'll see what I decide to do.
Do you want me to lead us out here?
Yeah, do it.
All right, well, that wraps up another edition of Slash MLS Podcasts. I'm username Punk Rock Pete for everyone here. Go ahead and follow us, tweet us, send us questions, concerns, or jokes at MLS Podcasts on Twitter.
Or at /MLS.
God damn it. Good job, Ian. Why don't you?
We're on iTunes. We never mentioned this, but we should. We're on iTunes. Also Stitcher.
If you're listening to this and you're not using iTunes, you can. You also have the option of Stitcher and other Android products, but we are available. You can go to our Twitter page that has the link for the feed. And for Ian, Josh, Dennis, and Chris, I'm Pete. Everybody have a great week.
Woo! I guess I'll press this red button because I don't want to edit.